and welcome. Thanks for popping into my channel. If you are new here, please like and subscribe for me. If you find this content helpful, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on the next video. Comment below with anything that you need help with or topics you'd like me to cover, and check out my website consultingninja.tech to peruse the resources section I've put together there. With that out of the way, we're going to get right to it. I want to give you guys some JavaScript you may actually find useful in your daily life. We're going to look at Object.hasOwnProperty. I'm going to show you some cool stuff that we can do with key value mappings, and then maybe a few bonuses. If you're not familiar with what you're looking at right now, this is called codepen.io. It is free. If you want to follow along, all you need to do is go to codepen.io. You will have to create an account, but you just need to confirm your email address and then you're done. Once you're in here, it's pretty cool. You can save these. These are called pens. You can share them. You can copy other people's and modify them. This is actually a pretty cool platform, and I recommend you check it out. On the right-hand side here in this column is our JavaScript, and this is the area that I'm going to be working in today. In our application, if we have an object coming to us and we don't have access to TypeScript, one way that we can check to make sure that the object is in fact the type that we're wanting, or at least close, is something called hasOwnProperty. I have this object here called checkWindow that just has two properties, glazing type and rValue. And if I wanted to check to make sure that one of those properties existed, or both I guess, one at a time, I would do let's define a result container, and we're just going to make this equal to checkWindow.hasOwnProperty. And then in here you just say what property you're looking for, and we're looking for glazing type. And then I'm just spitting that result down into this H2. You can see that we get the value true back. So if you need to check to make sure that a property exists on an object and you don't have access to TypeScript, this is a way that you can do it using only JavaScript. Now, this does have its limitations, seeing as how we'd have to check each property one at a time or loop through this using like object.entries, but it's better than nothing. I do have a really cool video on doing something much more powerful with TypeScript, and it's called type mapping and type guards. So I'll link to that video in the description of this one for you guys as well. The next thing I want to show you is some cool stuff that we can do with key value mappings. I'm not going to type this all out. I'm going to copy and paste because I don't want to make you guys sit here and watch all that. It's quite a bit to type. But we can do what's called a key value map. This is really cool. So what we have here is an object. The key is a word and the value is a number. In this case, it works out great because we're mapping the name of the month to the number of the month. And we can spit this out really easily here. Let's just copy and paste that there. And you can see that we're taking this month's name of June and we're using bracket syntax on the month's map object to plug that in and pull back the value of 6. So it's a way of converting the string June to the month number 6. And we can do this both ways. So I have the opposite here as well. So I'll post that here. We have an object called months that's mapping the number to the string. We use this extensively in the projects I work on, but not necessarily for the months. We would do something where we're mapping the value from a database to a string to be displayed in the UI. This does not have to be numbers. This could be some sort of uppercase value that your database is holding, and then you're mapping it to the string that you want to be displayed in your user interface. Super helpful for that. Hopefully you guys think that this is just as cool as I do because I've used this extensively at work. The next thing I want to show you guys is pretty cool as well. Let's define a couple of easy functions here. Let's call this fun1, and this is a function that's just taking a number and it's going to return number plus 1. Now let's define another function. Call this fun2. And maybe I'll put a space in there so a little bit better to read. And this is just going to take a number and return num plus 2. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the ternary operator, but it's essentially like a short circuit if statement. So we can actually do something really cool. Let's define a result. And what we're going to do here is say, take another value and say val less than 5, ternary. Then we want to run function 1 with the value. Otherwise, we want to run function 2 with that value. And then let's print that out. We do need to make sure that we delete these out since they don't exist anymore. And you can see that we get 7. Let's make this a 3. And now we can see we're getting 4. If the value is less than 5, it's going to run function 1. Otherwise, it's going to run function 2. So it's a pretty cool little short circuit you can do with the ternary to run one function or the other. I see ternaries used in a few different places, but I don't often see them used like this, which is actually a really powerful way to use them. The next thing I want to show you guys is another little known thing called array.join. Say I've got this array of strings and I want to join those all together. Now this could be characters, in our case it's words, but it doesn't have to be. Let's just do a string array dot join and let's see what comes up. You can see that we get all of those elements in that array all put together. So that's pretty cool. And then inside of here you actually can add criteria to your join and tell it to replace the things in between with something else. So you could do dashes, you could do spaces. So it's kind of like a way to take an array and build a string with it. If you leave nothing, it just plops it all together. If you leave this blank, it puts the commas in there. So it's a pretty cool piece of functionality. There we have a few things that you guys hopefully found helpful. If you did in fact find this helpful and you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Check out the rest of my videos. I have much more content than this. Until next time, you guys have a great day.